Hi and welcome back to my channel. How's everyone doing today? I hope you guys are doing great and having a great day. I know I am. Today I'm going to tell you a quick little story about a missing and murdered person who they've never solved the case, so a mystery, and I will be doing my makeup. Today I'm just going to be casual, nothing too fancy, probably not even lashes, just because I am also going up to this really cool shop that I've been helping out. It's called Sparrow here in my hometown, and I will be doing just some help with them, so I can't go full glam like ding kind of thing. I'm just gonna do something really easy for you. I also have an announcement at the end of this video, so I hope you guys are excited to listen to that and to see what I'm going to announce. This shop's really cool. This is one of my favorite things I got from the shop right now. It is a vegan stain remover, so it's just like a bar of, it looks like a bar of butter, and all you do is wet it and you put it on the stain and it removes the stain. No smell or nothing. It's super cool. So if you don't know, I will link her links down below. She's super cool, great person. Love the shop. It's renewable. You guys will love it. Go check that out. I will be, like I said, working there tonight, which is super exciting. So yeah, I'm going to tell you a story about a Vancouver, British Columbia girl who was murdered and they never found her murderer. So get ready for this video. Alright, so let's get into the story. I'm going to try to go in with showing you guys my products that I'll be using on my face. If you guys like my shitty tan hands, give this video a thumb up. Just because I find writing it out all the time sucks. So for my nose, e.l.f. Poreless Putty, and for my rest of my face is the Honeydew. They say it's a dupe for the Milk Grip You whatever. It's not. Alright, so it was practically a warm day on July 16th in North Vancouver, British Columbia. It was 1976. Margaret Duncan, 16 years old of age at the time, was excited to be off of school for summer holidays and enjoy time with her friends. So school, I don't know if school is the same in Canada as it is everywhere else, but usually you get off school July. If you're in university, it's usually like April, which is super cool. But yeah, so July is usually the time high school, elementary school gets off, and it's usually everyone loves it. And then I'm going in with the Fabulous 24-hour wear foundation. It's not 24 hours, but whatever. We'll just go with the flow. One pump. The evening, Margaret attended a house party with some of her friends for, you know, the year-end events, you know, people getting drunk because school's out for the summer, with several of her friends on the East Queens Ave of North Vancouver, BC. The party was an opportunity for Duncan and her large circle of friends to get together. The house was full that evening with like about 60 teens. I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't the coolest kid growing up in high school. Didn't have that many friends. I had friends, but I was so dedicated to basketball that I just didn't really go anywhere. And even when I remember one time I asked to go to my first ever house party and my mom was the only one home, and I asked her if I could go to this party in the bush. It was a bush party actually, and she looked at me and was like, "Don't you want to start on Team Alberta?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Should you not be prioritizing working out and eating healthy than going?" And I was like 16, and now I have an eating disorder. I'm just kidding, I don't have an eating disorder. But yeah, I did. But, you know, I wasn't allowed to do anything just because I was so focused on basketball and trying to get a scholarship to a university that I just never went to a house party. And you know what it got me? Depression! So at around 1 a.m., around 1 a.m., Duncan and her boyfriend, Sean, decided to leave and walk home. They were accompanied by Duncan's friends, best friends, and her boyfriend, Owen. The four teens walked towards a dark avenue, all headed home for the evening. They split into pairs when the two boys reached their homes first, and then Duncan and her friend continued to walk together. So, you know, they left them, but, you know, it was probably a path that they always took together, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Now I'm going in with the e.l.f. Creamy Camo underneath my eyes. a little bit on my nose, on my chin. You want to brighten up those areas, on my eyes. My eyes as I do my forehead. I'm an idiot. They would reach her best friend's home first, where the best friend embraced, and then they parted ways, gave her a hug, said, "Love you, Gail," and then left. Duncan continued the rest of her walk home alone. She still had about 5 blocks to walk until she arrived there, and at that time it was now 2:45. So they left at 1, probably a little intoxicated if you ask me. So they were probably like, "Ugh," you know, drinking, walking around, doing that fun stuff, and then was like, yeah, probably like, you know, kissing, doing whatever young people do in love. And it probably took a while. That's probably all it was. Like, because if they weren't that far, I don't like really know what 5 blocks is, but like off the top of my head, 5 blocks, can't really tell you. But I don't think it should take like an hour, 2 hours to get home. So it's about 2:45 right now, and she's still not home. So, you know, like I said, the dumb high school kids probably running around doing whatever they feel like. It's the last day of school. They had a party, la 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 la. It's fun. They're having fun. So at 3 a.m., a neighbor who lived 3 doors down from the Duncan family heard kind of a commotion or something going on outside. It was loud, audible sound of a male and a female arguing. She was concerned enough that she woke up her husband. So she was like, "Hey, something's not right." I've had that. There's been many times where my parents live, I was like, shit's going down outside. They live not, I would say it's a sketchy area now, but it wasn't a sketchy area before. And I did hear some things that I was like, we need to check this out. And then my dog, I remember one time it was me, my mom, and my dog, and we were all looking out the window staring at this couple fighting. They were clearly drunk, but it was funny. So the husband decided to inquire, and he went outside to look for them. Once he was outside, the neighbors detected the argument, and they couldn't really hear them anymore, and they could hear that they went a couple doors down, but he could still hear the male and female arguing. He looked around his property, and he's like, "Nothing here, go back to bed, honey, everything's okay." And the wife was like, "Who's out there?" And the neighbors yelled, "Who's out there? You guys are arguing, shut up," from his backyard towards the source of the loud argument. He didn't get a reply, but it quickly became quiet. So people did realize that, yeah, there is people out here and they want us to shut up. So the argument went away. People went quiet. The people who were clearly arguing were like, "People know we're out here being loud. People can hear us. We should probably shut up." So it went quiet. He waited for a while in his yard, just like waiting to see if he could hear it pick back up, listening to see if the argument would continue, and it never did. The argument ceased, so the neighbor was like, "Hey, time to go back to bed. It's 3 in the morning. I'm tired. I might have to work in the morning. Or this is my day off and I want to get some good sleep. Leave me be." So around 9 a.m. the next morning, the body of Duncan was discovered. Her partially clawed body was found in a small tuft of bushes to the neighbor's garage. So it was pretty close to where the guy was, like, there was that scuffle going on. They called police immediately. They're like, you know, they could kind of sense something just because, you know, there was that fight outside and now there's this. And they were just wondering, like, what the F, right? I saw this, remember, I keep doing this and I keep seeing this on TikTok and how it's supposed to be like the best nose contour hack of 2021. It's not that great. Whatever. So they called police immediately, and then the crime was, like, the scene was taped off. They were like, this is a crime, like, this little girl was clearly murdered, and sirens just instantly started coming from the neighborhood. So it instantly became a crime scene, which is great, because sometimes people are like, just kids, right? I was doing my editing, and I realized that it went from, like, my face done to my eyes done, and I missed a whole part, and I don't know how I did that, so I'm just going to read it to you here. So You know, there was an arguing going around. They yelled and there was no one. It went quiet. So the individual was like, okay. The neighbor was like, so it must be no one. So they waited in their house for a little bit to see if there was somebody that was going to respond. No one did. So they went to bed. So around 9 a.m. that next morning, the body of Duncan was discovered. Her partly clawed body was found in a small tussle of bushes right beside the neighbor's house, close to the neighbor's garage. Duncan had been murdered. Police were immediately called and the crime scene was taped off immediately, and sirens went through the whole neighborhood. A forensic post happened. They did do an examination and it was conducted. The results concluded that the cause of death was manual strangulation and that the body was sexually assaulted. Police worked days and nights to get this case going to see if they could find somebody. They took evidence. They did everything they can. They interviewed many people, but this murder did shock such a tiny North Vancouver quiet community. Several interviews were conducted with all of Duncan's close friends, immediate family, acquaintances, friends of the family, Duncan's boyfriend. They just wanted to know who could do this to this poor young lady, but nothing happened. Like I said, they did several polygraph tests with their friends and families just to see if maybe they missed something or they were lying, and still everything came up that no one was lying and they had no evidence. The case remained unsolved. The file grew colder as the years passed by. Years went by, nothing on this case. No one knew. The case went cold. Detectives stopped looking. They never had a lead, so they gave up, essentially. So fast forward to 1998, 22 years after Duncan's death and murder. Although the case remained cold and unsolved, forensic science examiners had an advantage and they started to do more testing. The original RCMP investigators were able to recover DNA evidence from the crime scene, and investigative due to diligence that would pay off some 20 years later. There was no way to test the DNA evidence back then in the 1970s, and the technology was just not the same. And I think a lot of cold cases, you may hear this, where, you know, they had some DNA, but they just didn't have the technology back then to actually use it, and they couldn't do anything about it. And they're like, hey, well, if like the guy didn't write his name into the dirt, how are we supposed to figure this out? And this was kind of the same thing. So I always struggle with my eyeliner, as everyone knows who watches this. So I have an eyeliner today. It's just like I'm trying to smudge it out, but whatever. So they had all this forensic science, new forensic science tools that they could use in the crime scene. So it was like, let's get on it. When the investigators tested the evidence in the 1990s, they received a break in the cold case. A DNA profile was estimated, the DNA that was linked to Duncan's unknown attacker and killer. So they actually found all the evidence and stuff, and they're like, this is perfect. No, they didn't really have like a bite of person per se, but they did have, you know, something they could go off of it. I put a little white eyeliner in, and now I'm just gonna do my lips and then a little highlighter, and then I'm gonna call it, and some just mascara. So during the initial investigation, the RCMP investigators had to have a list of 172 males that could be the Duncan's friends, some acquaintances, people of interest, and suspects. Now the DNA profile had been identified. Police obtained DNA samples from all these men in the hopes that they would match the DNA left behind by Duncan's killer. None of the people that they had matched. What is going on here? Ah! There we go. I hate lining my lips. Lips are lined. And then I'm going to go in. So this was I never told you, Essence lip liner. I also use Essence blush and bronzer. And then I used the Morphe Artistry palette. I have no clue what number this is, so whatever. It's pink. It's got pinks in it. Really cute pinks. So, and now I'm going to use the Soft Matte Cream Lip NYX in the shade London. Just so you know. So police were able to remove several high priority suspects in their initial persons of interest list, which is great. Confident none of them were reasonable for the horrendous murder of this young woman. Some of the other suspects had either died or police were unable to locate them. Is that a little too skin tone colored? Let's just put on some gloss and we'll see what happens. You know? No, I don't think... It's not bad, but I'll leave it. So right now, the investigation is still ongoing. It is still up. No one knows. That was back in the 1990s and it was 20 years old then. And now it is 2021. So this investigation and cold case was about, I would say, over 40 to 45 years old. And they have still never been found due to the fact, like they said, a lot of the people have died who were of interest, weren't able to get samples from them, or they just weren't able to find the person who did it. The one, like, good thing about that is it was a one and done type of crime, if that makes sense. It wasn't like the guy, this happened to multiple individuals who were around that age and he was a serial killer, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put some highlighter on, I'm going to put my rest of my mascara on, and I will come back to you guys with my final thoughts. Alright, so I'm back again. So I'm going to tell you my final thoughts. To me, the person who did it, the way it sounds, is the boyfriend. You know, there was arguing, there was just the argument, and the last person they saw her with was the boyfriend. I know the boys did dip before the girls, but it's either that or somebody from a party who used to have a crush on her or something like that, because she clearly knew who the person was, or she wouldn't, like, if she didn't know who it was and it was a guy who was trying to sexually assault her, she wouldn't have stopped screaming when the neighbors yelled, "Who's out there?" Right? She would have been like, "Help me, help, please," something, right? But instead, it just went quiet. So that's what my main thought was. It was somebody she knew did it, which is sad if it was somebody she knew and they never said anything to the family or anything. Like, come on. But if you want to know anything else about this, the file number is 1976-18404. The Duncan homicide is an open cold case. If you have any other information, you can go to www.rcmp.grc.ca/cc/99afn/index/.hnt. This, I know it was a long time ago, this case, but that was my thoughts. I thought that it had to be somebody that she knew, just because of the argument and how when the screaming, somebody asked if she was okay, screaming went off, no one said a thing, and then they found her dead. So either he had his hand over her mouth or something, but you think that there would have been like a muffled noise because it was so close to the neighbor's house. So those are my final thoughts. I like how they did due diligence through this case, in the sense where they got enough evidence that they could use it down the road to help the family out. If they would have just been like, "Oh, she's dead, take some fingerprints, walk it off," they would have never been able to get the DNA. And who knows, that if possible, they could have done something else and their DNA could have put into the system, and then ding, red flag, we got the guy who killed this chick, right? That could have happened. It just, unfortunately, never did. And it never really amounted to anything. But they did do diligence, which is great. Let's get ready for my announcement. It's not great. I will only be uploading a video once a week now. And if I feel up to it, I'll do 2. I've just been having no motivation lately. I thought I'd have more motivation after the wedding and stuff, but I just picked up more shit to do. I'm helping doing marketing. I'm helping doing nonprofit, my basketball starting up again. I have a full-time job and I do this, so it's hard for me in a day to keep the house clean, cook, do whatever, and also do all the stuff that I do. So I'm going to be uploading just once a week, and I'm going to keep doing it on Thursdays just because Thriller Thursday was the thing I started out with and I loved and I want to keep doing it. And then if I do feel up to it, you'll get a bonus video here and there on Tuesdays, which we'll still keep True Crime Tuesdays, but it's not going to be a thing that happens every week, right? It's going to be a surprise when it happens. And I really want to thank you guys for coming out and watching my videos every single day and supporting me and loving me. It means a lot to me. I love the support. I've gotten a few new followers lately. Thank you guys so much. It just means the world to me, and I love the support you guys give me. And thank you for watching every week and supporting me and showing me how much you care, and giving me the okay and saying that I'm doing a good job. It really means the world to me. So thank you, and thank you guys again. So again, like and subscribe. Here are my follows. Follow me if you guys would like to see more things, what I do here and there. I'll be linking the shop down below. I'll be linking a bunch of other stuff down below, my socials, just a little description, stuff like that. So again, thank you guys for coming on and watching this video on Thursday. I know it's been a minute. So just remember, follow up. I will only be posting once a week from now on, and I want to thank you guys again, and make sure you guys have a great Thursday and a great weekend, and I will see you guys next Thursday. Bye!